Hey everybody, Motorport 59 here. Well, I couldn't stay away. I've been really busy for the last month or so. I'm still real busy until Christmas passes. Not that I'm not rushing around buying gifts or anything, but there's just a lot going on right now leading up to Christmas that I've got to take care of, and my other channel, and starting to and about 2 months ago, I started investing in the stock market, and I spend a good deal of time trying to stay on top of that. So anyway, I've got a lot of irons in the fire, but there have been a lot of things happening, and uh, my wife Jennifer is tired of listening to me complain to her about it, and she just wants to watch what she wants to watch on TV, and uh, doesn't want to listen to me harp about things. I still got my buddy Don and my sister Debbie that we can talk about politics. Going to go have lunch with my sister here in a couple of hours. But anyway, um, one of the things that gives me a lot of political news now is following the stock market, and I go and do a lot of research on the market and what to look for and yada yada yada. But one of the things that I'm finding in doing all of this is that I'm getting some really solid information about how the politics of the world, really, the geopolitical world, affects the stock market, but particularly how the American economy, but particularly how American politics is affecting the economy, and it is affecting it very, very negatively. And I was just reading an article about how inflation has jumped up to 6.8%, which is the highest it's been since Ronald Reagan was president, and managed to start getting inflation under control by allowing the free market to get things balanced out and let it drive the economy, which is pretty much the way we have done things ever since. Uh, Obama undertook a huge spending plan, but nothing. Obama undertook a huge spending plan that really created a lot more national debt, but it didn't it certainly didn't help the economy, and it didn't help inflation, but it didn't drive inflation to the way that Biden but it didn't drive inflation the way the Biden administration uh, is now. Right now, government spending is what is driving our economy, and it's driving it down. It's driving inflation up, and it's driving the economy down. And the socialist handlers, the people that are in charge of the Biden administration, because make no mistake, Joe Biden is in charge of nothing, and neither is Kamala Harris. Uh, right now, the socialists are running the country, the ones from behind the scenes. Some of them aren't even staying behind the scenes anymore. But that is what's happening right now. And that is why the Democrats, particularly the Biden administration, continue to double down on Build Back Better, even though it is already proving the pieces of it that they're trying to work into the economy right now prior to passing everything that is in it. Uh, those things are having a detrimental effect on the economy, and they're not going to change. They're only going to get worse. We really have to pay attention to what these people are doing. I suggest that everyone go pull up the Build Back Better uh, fiasco, and go online, look it up, and read some of the things that are in it. Um, Biden right now in his speeches, and his lackeys in their speeches, are only talking about, as usual with Democrats, well, if we do this, it'll help healthcare. It'll help uh, families that have low. It will help. Well, here, let me read just a paragraph of what Biden is saying right now about this. Uh, the challenge of prices underscores the importance that Congress move without delay to pass my Build Back Better plan, which lowers how much families pay for health care, prescription drugs, child care, and more. And more? What's more? I more. Go read the plan. I didn't read all of it. This is another one of those things that's 2,700 pages long or 1,700. I don't recall, but more than I could stand to look at. But there are so many things in that bill that are going to cost American people. It's going to cost us our economy, and we don't need most of it. Uh, it's it's like the infrastructure bill. It was the same way. It's just it had so much stuff in it that we just don't need right now, and more importantly, that we can't afford right now. We have a generation of people sitting on their asses right now, waiting for the government to give them more money, because that's what the government's been doing for the last couple of years, or at least since the pandemic lockdowns happened, and a lot of them just don't seem to want to go back to work. And it doesn't really even matter how much money they made. It doesn't matter how much, if they made considerably more while working, they don't seem to want to get off their butts and go back to work if they can get enough money to pay their rent. And thankfully, a lot of these the people are losing that. Hyper unemployment's done. The stimulus, I don't know. I got a stimulus check for $600 from the state of California about a month ago, and I don't know why. I just don't know why. It almost made me mad that they sent me that money, or that they're sending people any of it, because it's not stimulus money. They're not using this money to stimulate the economy. That's not their plan. This is bribe money, is exactly what this is. And people like me are offended by it, but these low-income, lazy, and I'm talking about lazy physically, and I'm talking about lazy physically and lazy mentally. These people don't want to think, and they don't want to work, and they think that $600 is something, and it's not. That $600 changed nothing in my life, absolutely nothing. And it's not going to change anything in theirs, but the Democrats want them to think it is. But these are the kind of expenditures, even though that was a state thing, these are the kind of expenditures that our governments are using right now to bribe low information Democrats, liberal thinkers, progressives. They're using that to drive they're using that to keep those people in their voting base. The Republicans don't make those kind of promises. But this Build Back Better plan, we can't afford it. We couldn't afford the infrastructure bill. There were a couple of good things in the infrastructure bill. I did one of my last pieces was about the infrastructure bill, and there were a couple of good things in it. But for the most part, it was just a bunch of gobbledygook, and it was just a bunch of unnecessary expenditures that the nation just can't afford right now. Being in the doing some investing now, the energy market is just falling apart. And it's because the federal government doesn't know what to do. They don't know what to do. Even though they're being told by the industries, this is what you need to do. If you want to get these prices down and help curb inflation, this is what you need to do in the energy market. But they are so indebted to the green energy and the environmentalist lobby, they're not listening. I don't think that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris are intelligent enough, and I'm serious, I'm not just being funny. I don't think they're intelligent enough to grasp our energy needs. I don't think they have the ability to understand how our energy market works and what we are going to need to do to move forward to truly lessen our carbon footprint, to become more green. We can do it, but we can't do it right now. We certainly can't do it the way they're trying to do it. It's not going to work. There's no replacement for fossil fuels right now. Green energy isn't going to do it, but they're trying to force this down the Americans' throats, and it's causing the energy market to crash. It's driving inflation up. It's helping the energy. During November, the inflation didn't rise. Inflation didn't go up 6.8% in November. It's just up to that at the end of November, which is the highest it's been, as I said, since the Reagan era. But during the month of November, 3.5% of the uptick in inflation was in the energy industry. And that is not a good thing. People have to have energy. They have to have gas to heat their homes. They have to have gas to drive to work. This EV technology is hey, I've said before, I'm not averse to it, but it's not the answer to our questions right now. It's not going to fix things. Oh God, there are so many things this administration is doing that is absolutely insane, and their low information, ignorant voting base is just sitting there nodding their heads because they don't understand it either. I don't know. It's a mess. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpullet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe. Click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. Then we'll see you again soon. Looks like.